Let's continue the story now. It's a really big and problematic one, and you've heard the sentiments from people on the ground. Let's bring in Lindiwe Zulu. She's our Minister of Social Development. Minister, I'm not sure how much of that you could hear, but some of the sentiments are that, you know, SASSA simply doesn't care. And also a sense from that briefing, while apologies were made, a little, too late. How many people have yet to be paid?
Thank you very much, Sally, for the opportunity. Let me start from your opening statement that says SASSA simply does not care. Let me put that to rest, that it is absolutely not true that SASSA does not care. SASSA works around the clock. SASSA has been paying social grants since 1994.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and that's the perception from people on the ground. I'm just saying it's not my view. No, it's the view of people waiting in queues. Direct quote. But I hear you. Continue.
Let us agree, Sally. You call me to an interview, enable me to explain, and also give me the chance to respond to what you are saying, because the sentiments that you are talking about on the ground, these are sentiments that we, the Department of Social Development, SASSA, in our entirety, at national, provincial, and local government level, these are the issues that we have had to deal with almost every time we deal with it, and we always look for the best solutions that we can. And in this particular case, it is also not true that we went to a press briefing and we were very casual about it. I take exception to us being said we were casual in a very serious briefing, which we took time to have, because we explained at the briefing. We could not go out and be at a briefing when we did not get a full appreciation from the people who are concerned at a technical level. What is it that exactly happened?
Right. Okay.
We only came out once we were happy with what we got from them.
So
yes.
I wonder if you, because I have read countless articles on what went wrong at Postbank, and it is very confusing technology. Do you have a full grasp? And I understand this, of course, falls under a different ministry, but it has affected your department. Do you understand what exactly went wrong? And do you think that someone should be fired over what went wrong? Or is this one of those things that happens?
I understand exactly what went wrong, because what went wrong started with the change of a system, a switch. And when you have to switch from one system to the other, where you are trying to improve the system so that all the issues that had been raised before, you're getting a that's going to help you to serve people better. And in the process of that switch, you then have this technical problem that you come across, which you then need to get to the back room of understanding and appreciation where exactly did the problem happen. What I think is a problem for us as SASSA is that, as a department, myself and SASSA, is that we do get the money, and we send the money to all beneficiaries, which includes those beneficiaries who have to get their money through the Postbank. And if it so happens that the Postbank finds itself in this situation, we cannot jump and sit on the line somewhere and say, we've got nothing to do with this. We are one government. We've got to come together and say, what is the solution to this problem?
I hear you. Minister, sorry to jump in.
Apologize to the people. Yes.
No, I just want to get an understanding. I want to check that my understanding is correct, that some people opt to get their SASSA payment through their bank accounts, through their individual banks, but a lot of people, is it up to sort of 30–40% of people still use Postbank? Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. Many people now opted, by the way. That's why we keep on saying, even at the time, we were changing the dates during COVID and after COVID. We were telling people that they've got the choices. It's their rightful choice where they go to. And then when they choose to go to the Postbank, is their choice. But that doesn't preclude us from following up with the post office and the Postbank and doing our best to make sure that people are paid. And in this case, we understand
Sorry to jump in, Minister. I've just got another question. I just wanted to ask, is it only people who get their grants through Postbank who've been affected in this way?
Absolutely. It is the people who get their money through the Postbank who have been affected. And the Postbank did give us an assurance that those that did not get their money, the system, they had to go manual to try and solve that. But we will only be comfortable with it once there is no person on the street who says, I have my card and I've been going there and Minister, I'm not getting them. And we are not going to allow them to sleep until such time that that is done.
How many people are still awaiting their money at this point? Do you know? Is it clear?
According to the post office, out of the 600,000 that get their money from the post office, they told us that it's now 10% who did not get. 10% is big enough to us. We cannot, one person not getting their money, us understanding what the money does for our people. One person is enough for us to stand up 60, and say...
Just for a point of clarity, does that mean that there are about 60,000 people at this point who've not been paid yet, who are still to be paid?
According to the data that were being given by the Postbank, but let me also say to you, it's not only just us listening to the Postbank. We have MECs at provincial level. We've got regional managers of SASSA at provincial level. Then we are saying to them, those are the people that should go out and be able to go to the centers where people are being paid and not paid, so that we not only rely on some information that we get.
So, Minister, are you getting the support? Are you getting the support from your MECs and their staff to do that? Because the stories we are hearing are absolutely heartbreaking. We're hearing from old ladies who have to move from one area to another at great cost. People who are having to do business now with loan sharks. Surely if there was a system even of transporting the elderly to areas where they can get their money, it seems that they're just left high and dry and they're alone. Are you disappointed with the level of support at regional and even local level?
The regional and provincial level should have been alerted much earlier for them to appreciate that there's this problem. And because there wasn't that immediate information about it, so they only started getting onto the ground. This morning, for instance, I was speaking to the MEC of the Eastern Cape, MEC Fanta, who was telling me at that time that I was speaking to her in the morning, she was going to the centers where the payment is supposed to be done. All the MECs have been going to where they need to get information from SASSA and all the necessary people. They've been going on the ground. But let me tell you, that's not adequate as far as I am concerned.
I agree.
No, it's not adequate. I'm saying that. And the best way for us...
The
best way for us to deal with this particular issue is to have more of our people where they make the choices where they go to. We need to look at which are the easiest choices for our people and encourage our people to go to those systems that are easier for them. But at the same time, we do understand why it is important for us to support the Postbank from a developmental point of view.
So wait a minute, let's deal with that. You've said some interesting things that I just want to jump in on. You've said it's important to support the Postbank for developmental reasons. Now, just talk me through that, because from what I'm hearing, the commercial banks have not had a problem like this when they pay out SASSA grants on your behalf. So surely the logical thing
that's not true.
But never this extent. This extent?
No, that's not true. If you will recall,
when did it happen?
Even at the time during the time of COVID, we had a big problem where people were going to ATMs and not being able to access their money. I think the understanding here has to be that the back room, even for banks, the back room and the systems that you have to use, you've got to make sure that you've got the best system in the world.
I mean, if we read through, and I mean, this is the thing that just absolutely staggers me, and this is the news website Ground Up. Postbank was not paying the software company that enables the payments. This is Electronic Connect. Postbank then said they know they owe Electronic Connect, but because the contract wasn't actually in line with the government procurement rules, they were unable to make payment. They had to go to court to get permission to do that, which they then got. But they hadn't been paying Electronic Connect for a few months because of that problem. That was then sorted out. It sounds like it's complete chaos at Postbank. It sounds like they're overwhelmed. And I'm just asking you, what is the best thing for that lady on the street who feels that SASSA doesn't care? What do you want to say to her about the best way she can get her money?
The best thing I can say, first and foremost, was that apology still remains. It is genuine. It is understanding and appreciating the difficulty. The information that we are getting from the Post Bank is what we are going to be chasing to make sure that everybody is paid. But we have also said the grant beneficiaries will have to make the choices as to where exactly do they want to go so that they can be able to get their money without this kind of hindrance. At the same time, we are saying to the Post Bank, and I'm sure you are aware that Minister Gungubele already made some announcements about the problems that the Post Bank has had from an administrative and management point of view, that he's got a complete new team of people. But while they are busy with trying to fix the challenges of the Post Bank, we are saying to our grant beneficiaries, let us look at the best options, and the best options are available. And those options are the options that we'll have to be communicating to our people so that they don't have to go through such pain.
So, Minister, have you been given a time when all the outstanding grants will be paid this month?
I have not been given the exact time by the Post Bank, because they said to us, can we give them a bit of time? Because, you know, when they begin to do things manually than when they were doing it through electronic.
Have they given you a ballpark of time?
It's easier.
I'm asking this not for me.
No, we don't have
people who are desperate. Not even, you don't know. You simply don't know.
We don't have that. No, I'm
Minister,
saying, no. I'm saying we don't. Can you please listen to me?
I just wish you could just be more concise.
I don't have the time.
Yeah. You don't
I'm saying I don't have the time to be waiting for them to tell me when are they going to finish it. After we had this press briefing, we came back together again and we said by tomorrow, we want a complete picture from their side. We want specifications. We have so many that have not been paid. These are the areas where people have not been paid. And tomorrow, for instance, I said one of the things that I have to do in the morning is to go to some post office is in Pretoria so that I can even see for myself. So I can't be giving them time. I need them to solve the problem for me.
I agree, and
by tomorrow, I need the problem resolved.
So they haven't given you a deadline, but you're demanding that by tomorrow they give you one. I have to ask one final question, Minister. Can you guarantee that this mess that we've seen this month with Postbank will not happen again next month?
It will not happen again next month, because as far as I'm concerned, when you are confronted by something that you were not expecting, and when you are confronted with technological challenges, you need to have a plan B. And my plan B, together with SASSA, we need to have the plan B, which does not mean we don't believe in what the Post Bank is saying to us. But we are saying, given that we've seen what has happened, we simply cannot afford it next month. We can't afford it next month.
So,
we
Minister,
can't afford it at any time.
At the briefing, I was told by our reporter that at the briefing, when that very question was asked of Postbank, they were not as emphatic as you that it won't happen again.
I have to be emphatic because I have the constitutional obligation. If the constitutional obligation to me says I must make sure that the grants are paid, I will not sit and wait for this thing to happen again. I will have to look into our own technical and support systems that will have to make sure that that doesn't happen. So if you feel or somebody felt that they were not emphatic, I'm saying I have a constitutional obligation. I'm the executive oversight for SASSA and the department. Our constitutional obligation is to pay the grants. And therefore, if we get information and all the questions that we have posed to them and we are not getting satisfaction from that, we do have options.
All right. Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us what you do know. And the Minister there, emphatic, this is not going to happen again under her watch. And she's saying even if Postbank is not 100% sure that they can prevent it happening again, she has a constitutional mandate to make sure this will not happen again. She's demanded a meeting tomorrow with everyone. She says she needs deadlines on when the remaining 60,000 people are going to get their grants.